Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my third time making this video because it keeps getting too personal and I don't want to do that right now. So, if you guys don't know me, I'm Jamie. I'm pretty new to this YouTube thing. It's fairly new to me. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm a single mom. My son Jaxon has autism. My mom and I live together in this house that I bought. She's lived with us since he was born to help watch him during the week while I work because she works weekends. So it's been a pretty good situation that we got going on. I have a older brother. I have two nieces as well. Let's see, my mom has been a single mom since I was like 3. She always worked 2 jobs to support us. She's amazing. My dad passed away a while ago. But I'm not gonna get back into that. I did a whole video on that. I had to delete it because I can't do that for you guys. You guys don't know me that well yet. And he was in and out of our life for a while. So he passed a few years ago. I have been working as a dental assistant since I was 19 at this same office, except like I took like a year off because I met someone. I moved to Kansas City to be with him. That didn't work out. So I moved in with my friend Jamie and I met someone else. So you guys don't think less of me, but it's just, I just explain it like that. I'm like, hey, when you drink a lot of vodka and you don't use protection, you end up with a baby. So granted, it was the best blessing I was ever given, ever. But in the moment, I was like, oh, shit. So I found out I was pregnant actually like on Father's Day, which is funny. And his dad already has a child who he does not support that much. This isn't going to be like a Chase bashing video, but y'all have got to know. So I moved back home. I moved in with my mom and my stepdad at that time. And then about a month later, Chase moved down, which looking back, I wish I wouldn't have pushed him to come down because I think my life would have been a lot better without him in it. But, you know, whatever. Life is life. So he moved down. That's one thing. I mean, I don't mind like socially drinking and having fun every now and then, but I'm not a big drinker. And I think a lot of that stems from Jackson's dad being an alcoholic. But when you're in love and you're pregnant and whatever, you don't really notice as much. But he would constantly drink on the weekends, like to the point where I would rather be working than being home on the weekends because I just didn't want to be around it. And being pregnant, you don't need that stress, but there it is. Eyelash poking me in the eye. But let's see. I think it was Super Bowl Sunday. I had my baby shower, but the day before I woke up and I was trying to brush my teeth. I was trying to like swish the water and the water like wouldn't stay in my mouth. And I looked up and half of my face was paralyzed. I don't remember if it was this side or this side, but it was like this. Like this side worked fine and this side was like nothing. It just like drooped. And then like I couldn't move the side of my face. I couldn't even smile. So my smile was like this. Yeah. I laugh now because it's funny. But in the moment, it's not funny. It's scary as shit. So I called my mom. She was working, of course. And she was like, go to the ER. So I went there. And granted, the whole like pregnancy was fine. Blood pressure, everything perfect. So I get there and my blood pressure is like stroke level high. And I already have a sinus infection. Like I was already like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So the ER, they do a CAT scan. There's nothing there. There's nothing wrong. If you ever go to the Lebanon Mercy ER, don't do it. There's been some horrible things there. And that's one of them. They sent me home, said it was fine. I'm like, okay. So I go home and my mom brings home like a blood pressure cuff, of course, because that's how she is. And we keep monitoring it and it's still high. Face is still paralyzed. And then Super Bowl Sunday, of course, my baby shower. The one time where everyone's going to get together and I wanted lots of pictures and I couldn't even smile. Because 1, I was sick and 2, I was paralyzed. I was like, it's called Bell's palsy, if you guys don't know. Sometimes it goes away, sometimes it doesn't. So that's what scared me. I was worried. Because when it happened Saturday, I was like, I cannot go to work like this. There's no way. I can't do it. I was like, I'm just going to have to stay home. I invoke maternity leave now. But Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. So I dropped Jackson's dad off with my best friend Lindsay's husband. They kind of watched the game, drank, did whatever. While I had my baby shower. So then I go pick him up. Just freaking drunk as a skunk. To the point I have to pull over multiple times, let him puke. Like it was just ridiculous. So we get back to the house. Of course, he passes out, which is great. You know, some other drama went down I will never talk about. And then we called the OB nurse again. We're like, hey, the ER sent her home yesterday. Her blood pressure is still super high with paralysis. Her feet are so swollen. Like, I'm worried. So they're like, yes, get in here right now. So we live like 5 minutes from the hospital then. So it was freaking sweet. We get there. She bundles me. She's like, oh my, they should not have let you leave yesterday. I'm like, well, that's great to know. So they admit me. They start Pitocin because of course they're worried with my blood pressure, like the baby. So they start Pitocin trying to get that ball moving. And during that time, the OB that was there went down to the ER and ripped that doctor a new a-hole because she was so mad. And then they had to break my water. So that was Sunday night. I don't remember when I got an epidural. Sometime, because it was no fun. Back labor is awful, you guys. I don't know if you've had that, but don't do it. Don't do back labor. Not that you have a choice. So then I'm there all day Monday. I think the epidural might have been like super late Sunday, early Monday. They had to do it like 3 times because I couldn't get it. So it didn't help. My blood pressure was so high. I kept bleeding a lot. And then I kept puking because the epidural was making me sit funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What you doing? So, oh my gosh, my ass is legit numb. I'm so sorry. It's so unprofessional. So then it comes to like Tuesday morning. I'm legit dilated to like a 4 at this point. From Sunday to Tuesday. I'm at a 4. And I'm looking at my OB and I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, there's no way he's going to come. I'm not getting anywhere. Like, can we just take him? Because I haven't slept since Sunday. Like, I can't sleep when I'm super nervous about stuff or anxious. Like, I just don't sleep no matter what. You could drug me and I'm like, nah, I'm still awake. So then they took me in for a C-section, which I really didn't want. I wanted to do, like, not natural. Hell no. But, you know, I wanted to give birth. Like, I wanted that. They freaking just cut him out like a tumor is what happened. And I love that saying. Your mom didn't give birth to you. They cut you out like the tumor that you are. So funny. Anyway, don't worry about that. And I mean, granted, even with an epidural, you feel them cutting you open. It's a lot of pressure. It was very uncomfortable. It made me so nervous. I'm strapped to the table like our Lord and Savior. Bless him. I love him so much. But oh my gosh, I was like, what is going on? And then, you know, they're trying to put oxygen up my nose. I can't breathe through my nose. I have a sinus infection, you guys. I'm just like, sure, put it up there. It's not going to do anything. It's like, no one communicated why I'm such a hot mess right now. So anyway, they got him out. I started crying, started peeing. So I'm sure he peed inside me, which is cool. And then Chase brought him over so I could see him. And Chase left the room with him. I passed out like that. I don't remember anything else until they're like shaking me, having me wake up. I'm like, what? And you guys, I'm not going to lie. C-sections are brutal. Whoever elects those instead of trying to do natural labor, granted it was kind of me. Y'all are rock stars. That was hard. You can't lay flat for a few weeks. You're full of like air because your stomach's open. So when they put you back together, you're like full of gas and air, and it's so painful. Just even like going to the bathroom, I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die on the toilet. Look at this. So anyway, he was healthy. He's perfect. Whatever. Chase was not helpful at the hospital. He wanted his sleep. I had a C-section. I could not get up that much. I was more swollen than what I was. Like, my thighs were so swollen. I was walking like with here's my thighs. My legs were like this. And I was walking like this because I was so swollen because I retained so much water because my blood pressure was still out of control. That actually had to call the nurse crying. I was like, could you please take care of him? Because his father will not help me. And now that should have been light bulb moment. Like, this is what my life is going to be like. Selfish little shit. I'm sorry, what? So we get home, and then I think I'm back like that next week. They put me in the hospital again because my blood pressure, the swelling, everything like was not getting better. So they had to put me on like water pills, try to like, I've never peed so much in my life. And we finally got it under control. And then by the time I went back from maternity leave, like the paralysis was gone. Thank you. But I mean, it was just traumatic enough that I'm good. One kid, I'm good. So that was when we lived like in Lebanon, close to the hospital. After my mom and her husband split, thank God, it just was awful. We moved back to Richland, which is where we are now. And it really just escalated. Like, Chase's drinking was out of control. He was just not a good person. Not like, once you have a kid, it's just like, that kid's your life. Okay, whatever with you, like whatever. But there was multiple times, like, his family came down to visit from Iowa. He would go out and get wasted and, come back to the house and be like disruptive and loud. And I'm like, it's like 2 a.m. What are you doing? Like, stop. Like, just a lot of stuff that I won't put up with. And I think that's why I'm okay being a single mom forever. I'm okay with not getting married or having a significant other, because I don't put up with that. I put up with that enough, and I will not do any of that again. That's for sure. So, a couple of things happened, like around Halloween. He wanted the keys to the house, which are my car keys as well, so I gave those to him. And he disappeared for hours because he went drinking, and it was freezing, and it was Halloween, and I had no way to get home because I didn't have my car keys and I didn't have my house keys. And he left me and his 8-month-old child out in the cold like that. So that was a big one. And then after Christmas, I think it was really close to New Year's, I came home to find him already pretty intoxicated while watching my child. And I'm sorry, my kid wasn't even 1. And you think it's okay to drink enough to where you are tipsy around my child? No. And that's when I lost it. And that's when we split up and he was gone. So that's why I think, back, I shouldn't have pushed him to come, because I think it would have been fine. But if he wouldn't have come, who knows what would have happened, like with my mom and stuff. So it is what it is. He left. He went to move in with a friend in Lebanon. He saw Jaxon occasionally. We had his first birthday together. We, kind of sucked it up into that. And then he decided he's going to move back to Iowa. I was like, okay. And he's like, well, I still want to come down and see him. I'll send you, money for child support. Because at that time, he was just giving me some cash here and there to help with, like, diapers and stuff. And I was like, okay. No. I think I got maybe like $50 once. And then I got nothing. And then, just nothing. Nothing. You can leave a kid like that. I don't know. But, anyway, it got to the point where I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'm going to hyphenate his name to Henderson because you're not here and I'm not a Carter. And I don't want to be called Mrs. Carter the rest of my life because that's my kid's last name. Because he was Jaxon Julius Carter. That was his name when he was born. So I went to the lawyer and he said, fine, whatever, I'll sign the papers. Never sign the papers, of course. That's just how he is. So the lawyer's like, hey, I wouldn't really hyphenate it because it's going to be really difficult for him when he grows up. If you just add Henderson onto the end, it'll make Carter like a middle name. And you won't have to use it. I said, what? So we did that. We went to court for that. Chase never objected, never signed the papers, never did anything because he doesn't do anything. So he was officially Jaxon Julius Carter Henderson, which was really nice. Which I think is cool because then it kind of like pays homage to my dad, who's a Henderson, because the Henderson name is not going to live on because my 2 aunts already have different last names. And my brother's a Smith legally. So Jackson's the last Henderson, which I think is neat. And then, we just went through a bunch of bickering, like the point where I would block him for like a year at a time. And then I'd unblock him to try to like be civil. And sometimes it was fine. And then I went in, something happened. I don't remember what happened, but I went in with a lawyer. I was like, I want full legal and physical custody of this kid. I go, he's autistic. Chase has not seen him since he was 1. He has no idea what it's like to raise this child. This child is nonverbal. He's still in diapers. He doesn't eat. He is a 24/7 job. And I was just scared at that point because Chase can always, he's full of empty threats. So we did that. I have all that. And then the judge was like, he added on to that. He's like, well, he's going to pay this much a month in child support. He's going to provide medical and dental if his job provides it. I was like, oh, whatever. So, you know, he owes, I think, like $7 or $8 grand in back child support. We get current pretty well, which is nice. But I don't know, like when you come from a home like where your mom and dad were divorced at a young age and like they didn't like each other and you knew they didn't like each other, but they were like civil to each other because they didn't want to talk bad about each other in front of you. And then you only see your dad on weekends, and then, you know, you just don't have like a good male role model because he's not there all the time. It's kind of sad. And like, I didn't want that for Jaxon. I wanted to be like in a loving married household with a supported spouse and, you know, a bunch of kids. And that just was not in the plan for me, which is fine. I understand. But there are some days with Jaxon, and we'll get to his autism story later, but that I wish I had a spouse to help me. Because some days, especially on weekends, it's just us. And I love him so much. I really do. But there's sometimes when you just need a 5-minute timeout. And I can't do that because I don't have anyone here to help me. You know, that's the only thing. I think just a little bit of extra support would be great. I've dated here and there. Some of them have met Jaxon and loved him. Some of them have not met him because it just wasn't like that serious. But he will always be my number one man. And he's my main priority. So anyway, I haven't talked to Chase in well over a year because I blocked him on Messenger. I gave him my email if he needed to contact me because last time we talked, he was threatening to take Jaxon because if I have to pay child support and medical insurance and stuff on him, then I'm going to see him during the summer. I'm like, bud, you're approved for supervised visitations at McDonald's in Waynesville for 30 minutes. So give it a shot. But just those threats like that, he knows bothers me. And I was like, no, I'm done. I was like, you're not going to talk to me like this. So, block. But I know a lot of people have worse stories than me. But I just like to get some of this out here because I want us to connect. I want you guys to know me, not just like, oh, she does makeup all the time, whatever. So, this might be too much information. Some people may not appreciate it. But it is what it is. It's what I'm going to do on my channel. Mostly makeup, but sometimes we're gonna get some personal shit out, okay? So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys soon. I appreciate every single one of you, and thanks for watching.